All right, what's going on, guys? Shout out to Val in the chat. I appreciate you being here. So, generic title I have here Mulatto history. I'm going to change the title and the thumbnail, of course. But let me just get right into it. I'm not going to be here all night. I'm going to share the information that was basically kind of presented to me. A gentleman behind the scenes shared something with me, some history that is critically important and crucial that a lot of us especially those of us in the United States of America, we don't know about. And so I want to share it with all of you guys. Yeah, we just don't know about. There's so much mulatto history around the globe we don't know about. But I'm going to base the conversation off of this specific comment that I received on one of my videos or community posts. I don't recall where exactly I received this comment, but I did receive this comment here. I'm going to read it for you guys. Um, and then like this person, you know, and I basically screenshotted as you see right here, okay, on the screen, and I shared it in my Discord. And then a gentleman who's in my Discord, he like provided like information. It was just mind blowing. I was like, wow, I didn't even know this history. It's very interesting how like a simple conversation sharing a particular comment that I received from somebody, and a gentleman like that I had, in the Discord, he shared a bunch of history from his country, his homeland, where he's from, that like most of us, none of us know this stuff. I'm going to get right into it, okay? Very interesting stuff. So let's check it out. But this comment here is hilarious, it's very typical. So the username or the hashtag, whatever username, I guess, used to be whatever, 000, puts we shouldn't allow ourselves to become lower than, and that's of course the spelling is inaccurate, right? It's supposed to be THAN, than our enemies. I don't even think enemies is spelled accurately. There's supposed to be an extra E in there somewhere, but you guys tell me. And become like them, filled with hate and spite. Like we gotta, you gotta do better. You gotta be better, you know. Yeah, trying to police us. Everybody can be colorist and racist towards you, but don't be like them. You got to be better. This is a coward who's presenting this argument. That's why I took a screenshot. I blocked this person, whatever their little troll account, or I have the suspicion. I think I know who it is. It's a mulatto biracial who has, biracial baby mama who follows me on some other, platforms, etc. I kind of have a suspicion of who it is, but I'm not going to, you know, because just the language here, like the syntax, it's just like what? We're gonna get into this, yeah. But this is right here. It's cowardice as well. It's cowardice. That's why. To me, it seems it's like more so. Yeah, it's cowardice, right? Let's not lower ourselves to the enemies. Be like them, filled with hate and spite. I'm not hateful and spiteful. Me reporting the news is me reporting the news. Okay. She put here, I'm guessing it's a she. I'm pretty certain. Okay. Not all blacks are the same. Well, no, duh. I never said they are. And I say this all the time that I'm not an absolutist. I literally say this all the time. I have to add extra specificity because I know people will misconstrue what I say and present it that I'm like this extremist to a degree. But I have to say I never say they're all the same or this group or that group, they're all the same. I always say that. And then the person put today's blacks are lost. They are matriarchal, whereas the blacks used to be patriarchal and conservative. Anti-mulatto was not that prevalent. Yeah, was past tense, but today it is, especially if you're a man. But if you're a female, see, and you're mulatto and you don't identify with them, then they really hate you and punish you. You're seeing that with Tyla. Now, she's not mulatto specifically per se. She's South African colored, but she's mixed race and identifies as so, and they hate her and they're trying to cancel her for that. And there's various others like Ice Spice. They're calling Ice Spice an industry plant. They don't like, who else is there? There's a host of others. Doja Cat, they tried that with her. Other mulatto entertainers who don't acquiesce to the communita, they really try to humble them, right? But so for those ladies, for the ladies who have a lot of options, who have money, they're celebrity types, right? Those are the ones they definitely try to target and humble them. But overall, the males, the mulatto men in their community, they hate. And he puts anti-mulatto was not that prevalent. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. But today, it's like you can't ignore this stuff. What you see on social media today, it's so right in front of your face. You know, if you still pretend, I just don't know what to tell you. So for you to allow these new blacks in the past 30, 40 out of the hundreds to change you is wrong. I don't know what this person means by change me. These new blacks in the past 30, 40s, 40 out of the hundreds to change you is wrong. She puts, I am mixed, but my family is black. How am I? And she doesn't even spell supposed correctly. That's what I'm like. It's this the Ebonic stuff. It's crazy. She puts, yeah, supposed to be supposed. She put SOPP, right? Supposed to feel towards my black brother from my dad's side and aunties and nieces. If I am hard felt towards blacks during family reunions, I may be half black, but I am part of blacks. I will naturally attained the ebonics is crazy. The spelling. You're supposed to attend their funerals and celebrations due to family. I have as well. I have as well. I mean, I was surrounded by black family not that long ago, attending a family function. That's part of life. That's part of life. So I don't know what it was like when I'm sitting there eating and dinner or whatever, lunch, having a conversation, talking to these people. It's like I'm not talking about none of this like mulatto stuff. What are you talking about? Like we're family. We're talking about family events where we're reflecting on the past events, family reunions, vacations we took together, situations we had. So like this is normal. I don't know. This person comes in here, can't even spell. And it's like, I will naturally attend their funerals. Yeah, I've done all this family stuff. Yeah, celebrations, of course. And she puts here, and in the event of a race war, see, that's the key thing. The black identified, because this person says they're mixed. It's a mulatto, I'm pretty sure. Not a smart one, but it's a mulatto. Black identified, might add. Probably black baby daddy, which is, you know, most of the case when they come over here getting uppity with me. Usually they got a black baby daddy. And the thing is, then she puts here, yeah, the race war, that whole race war thing, I'm going to get more into that in the future. They use that to basically humble, subdue, and hoodwink mulattoes in this fear scare tactic they utilize to get you to, like, you know, and that's what it is with this whole race war stuff. They've been talking this race war crap for decades now. And where are we at today? Like, we're in the same place we're at today that we were before I was born, even in the 80s. It's the same crap. I mean, some of it's been kind of more sensationalized with the BLM, Mike Brown, George Floyd, and this type, Trayvon Martin, this type of stuff, right? We're literally kind of in the same place. I don't see how it's any different. But they propose this whole race war stuff. They've been talking this crap for years. In the event of a race war, the white men will delete mulattoes, whether they're blacks whether the blacks will not. She puts a thumbs up. Just understand these new black generation are lost and call them back to the truth. So this is a mixed person, okay, who advocates for black people and saying, and she's basically making the point that, well, when the race war happens, the whites, they don't care. But yeah, okay, cool. I mean, the whites, Anglos, they've been going to war against Asians for how many years now? They're in the war with China. They went to war in Korea. They went to war in Cambodia. They went to war in Vietnam, in Japan, the Pacific War. Like they've been going to war with every group on the planet. So what the hell makes you think it's different with mulatto? It's like, see, but they want to try to scare you and try to maneuver you to serve black people. They want you to give up your identity to serve black people. They're trying to hoodwink you with this whole race war talk. They do this crap. They want you to be underneath and a subordinate to black people. Well, the whites are still going to attack you, but they've been attacking the Native Americans, the Mexicans, the Arabic people. They've been going to war, their crusades and military campaigns for years, for centuries against everybody else on the planet. What the hell is different today? And they're trying to tell us something we don't know. Oh, well, they're not going to see the difference that you're not different than black. See, this is a humbling tactic to kind of maneuver you to put you back in the box, so to speak. It's not working, not with us over here. But this person put the comment, and I was just like, entertained by this. And I shared this with a gentleman, with the people in a Discord, and they shared a lot of great information that I want to get into. So, and they talk about this new generation. This new generation are lost, and they call them back to truth. Don't let them get you. And she didn't even spell off correctly. Put of your mission. Meant to put off. I know this is a lady. I know it's a biracial baby mama, mulatto biracial lady who's got bastard kids by a black. I know this is what it is because they're plentiful. You run into them. They know the truth. They know they're mixed. They're not black. They can pretend all damn day. They know they're not black, but they get bastardized by black people, and they're surrounded by black people in their circles. So they adopt that basically identity to fit in. It's survival. I get it, but you're talking to a man here that's got some balls. So you're operate. It's a different situation here. Okay, don't let them get you off your mission. She put of your mission, and I do agree with the level of delineation, but from individuals, not your family and relatives. Chess, not checkers. Control your emotions, bro. Control your emotions. I'm super emotional, I guess. I mean, I think everything I'm doing is working out according to plan. Everything's working out good for me. My standards. Could it be better? Of course, but it could be like a lot worse, I could be talking into the, and basically into space and nobody would listen. But I have people who tune in. So this whole idea of like control your emotions. I think I'm pretty well adjusted. Sometimes there's depending on the topic or I might get a little more heated. You can clearly hear the passion. I like to say it's more so the passion you'll hear. But that's why people they like the content. It resonates. They hear kind of the passion, the realness, and the that's it. And then people resonate with that. So, but yeah, chess not checkers. They're trying to school me or something that you got to think appropriately, Mulatto Vanguard. I agree with delineation, but not from our family. I don't know who this person is. Like I said, I think it's a biracial baby mama. I have a good suspicion of who it is. No hate to her. I know she follows me, um, and whatever, and I think she's actually kind of shared me a few times and stuff like that. So she kind of likes the content, right? But she's kind of like one foot in, one foot out. Like she's still because you're part of the black community. Like you have kids by them, you go to their functions and you're surrounded by them, which is perfect. But you're a mulatto. You're not the same as them. So I don't know what to tell you. Like you can be mad at me all you want, but the information still stands. What I'm presenting to you, it still stands. You're not critiquing anything I'm saying. You're just putting you're using the same trick they do, this imaginary race war. Well, at the end of the day, it's going to be the blacks who support you. The white man, he ain't going to support you. Yeah, because you didn't decide to lay down with the white guy. You don't want to have kids with a white guy. You want to have kids with a black guy. So you want to get black kids, fit in with black people. And then you want to project this onto me where I got to accept. No, no. So the whole thing is here. Yeah, this comment is what kind of started this conversation we're going to get into right now. And I thought this was kind of hilarious, And I like I said, the person made this comment. I just blocked them. I saw this comment, screenshot, block them, get up out of here. Okay. Because clearly you're misinterpreting my message and you're purposely trying to maneuver us back in to be subordinates underneath black people. And that's not going to work in this upcoming generation moving forward. The mulattoes are coming to realize they have a voice, they have a space, a tribe. They don't have to serve other people's agendas. And yeah, but so I posted this comment right here in my Discord, and a gentleman shared with me a lot of great information. I'll get into your guys' comments. Don't worry, I'll get into your guys' comments, but there's more I want to share with you guys. So yeah, gentleman shared a lot of great information because where do I start here? Let me check out where he got. Okay, okay. This gentleman who's from the Caribbean, from the islands, and he shared with me the massacre of Jeremiah Vespers. I've never heard of this. This is a Wikipedia link I'm sharing with you guys here. I've never heard of it. And he shared it with me. And this guy was sharing history. I've heard him talk before on TikTok, some other stuff, and sharing history and stuff. I was like, oh, this guy's very knowledgeable. Like his in the Caribbean, there's a lot of mulatto history in the Caribbean, in Haiti, Dominican Republic, and etc. that a lot of us aren't aware of, even in Jamaica. I made a video not too long ago. I'm gonna upload. I mean, I've already uploaded it on this channel. I'm going to make it public on this channel very soon. It was a request from a Patreon member. Shout out to you guys. You support me on Patreon. You guys send me a request. You want me to talk about something, and it also Val in the chat. You posted a comment. I saw it. I heard it. So I will make a video based off your request. So you guys, you Patreon supporters, you make a request. Let me know what you want me to talk about, and I'm gonna grant you your request. So a gentleman, Patreon member, asked me to make talk about a gentleman as a mulatto from Jamaica. So I made a video about it. So I'm gonna upload it on this channel here pretty soon. But what am I gonna get at? Yeah, so I was saying like in the Caribbean, man, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Haiti, these islands, like there's a lot of mulatto history that kind of gets buried under the surface. Those of us in America, like they kind of hide it from us, or we're not aware of it, but it's blatantly in our face, like it's relative and has to do with mulattoes. And so for the preface, for the comment, before I get into this history here of this massacre that occurred, I want to read a comment that I received from El Mulaton. Shout out to El Mulaton, because he actually, when I shared this in my Discord, he's a Discord member. Check out his channel, El Mulaton. I really like his articulation. He's excellent in his articulation. He put here, he said blacks won't kill or delete mulattoes in a race war. And then it's funny, he put a laughing emoji. He said, they attack us now and there ain't no race war. And that's even why it's kind of a piggyback from my last video that I uploaded on my other channel, my first channel, Mulatto Vanguard, where I put right here the chat was like, they attack you in peace times. Imagine what they'll do to you in war times. That's kind of where I got the inspiration for that title, was from El Mulaton, where basically, yeah, because he replied to the comment that I just shared with you guys, where he's like, yeah, they say blacks are not going to attack you, mulattoes, but they're attacking you right now. You know, and there's not even a war. There's no declaration, there's no combat or anything, but they're attacking you. Not only are they slandering you, diminishing your sexual marketplace value, right? They're doing that heavy. That's their main thing. They don't want you to find a mate. They don't want you to connect with other mulattoes, to build a mulatto community. That's their main thing, right? They're going to spread false allegations, dox you, stalk you, harass you, right? Because they don't want you to connect with other mulattoes to build a community, right? That's their main weapon. But then aside from that, yeah, they're still attacking you. You have all these incidents out here, and I'm going to be here to report the news for sure. But yeah, the inspiration for that, you know, the title of that video I uploaded was from El Mulaton, because he said, yeah, there's no war right now, but they're attacking you. What the hell is that? But when I posted that comment, another gentleman in my Discord, he referenced this and he has history of this. You know, the massacre of Jeremiah Vespers. How many of you guys know about this? I doubt none of you do. I didn't even know as well. I had no idea. This has happened in Haiti. This happened under the Haitian rule. I had no idea that this occurred. This is mulatto history. Nobody talks about. None of us know, especially those of us in America. They hide this from us because they try to paint everything a mulatto does, the mulatto presence in the whole entire planet. They paint it as if it's black history, or it's quote unquote colorism. They try to hoodwink you to make you think you're a part of their group. But when you have black people who attack you specifically because you're mulatto, that's not colorism. That's racial terrorism. They don't want to talk, they don't want to have that conversation, right? They want to hoodwink you and make you think you're a part of their group. That's that whole colorism thing they talk about. They're hoodwinking you. No, they attack you because you're racially different than them. You're half European, you're mulatto, you're different. So this happened in Haiti, the massacre of Jeremiah Vespers. Massacre ordered by Haitian dictator Francis Duvalier, 1964. Not that long ago, guys. How many years is that? That's 60 years ago. 61 years ago. That's not that long, guys, because they'll try to paint it that this happened like generations ago. My mother was born, my father was born in this time when this massacre occurred in Haiti. They'll try to paint it like it's ancient history, but this is stuff that's happening fairly, recently. Okay, let me read this. This is Wikipedia. The massacre of the Jeremiah Vespers was a killing ordered by the dictator Francis Duvalier and committed from August 5th, 1964. Not that long ago, civil rights era, in the Haitian town of Jérémie, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I apologize, guys. Against supporters and activists of the Jeune Haiti group. The massacre followed the massacre of peasants. Yeah. I had no idea that this occurred. No idea about this history. The gentleman shared it with me. I was like, wow. This is like right in front of our eyes. Nobody talks about this. No, we don't even know about this stuff. This is actual history. So check this out. It says right here, the massacre of Jeremiah Vespers was a killing ordered by a dictator, like I said already, yeah, and his supporters, Haitian group. The massacre followed the massacre of peasants, okay? The date was, yeah, August 5th, 1964. Check this out, because this is really how it applies to us, how it's congruent with us. And they lay it out here historically when you analyze the text. Check it out. The term Vespers refers to excursions organized by families during Sunday outings for picnics in the countryside. The Vespers were then often organized on a racial and class basis, constituting exclusively whites and mulatto groups, much to the dismay of the black populations. You see that? If mulatto people are considered black, why do they delineate right here? Historically, in this context, the text, why do they say here in Haiti, mulatto groups? But I thought mulattoes were considered blacks, according to the pro blacks and Afrocentrics. Isn't that what they tell you guys? Well, around the world, like when you have these like black divestors or black males, they're Hebrew Israelites, CDO father, they have kids with non-black women, white women, or white men, whatever, vice versa. They have their mulatto kids, and they sit there and tell you, well, I'm going to teach my kid to be black because the world finna see them as black. But you look at the text, you look at here, they're specifically highlighting constituting exclusively white and mulatto groups. So clearly we're not the same as them. Does this make sense, guys? Am I making sense? Is August 5th, 1964? This ain't the 1700s. Okay, because they'll sit there and tell you, well, that word mulatto, that's a an old word, people don't use that anymore, and there's no difference. You're just considered black around the world. You're mulatto, you're considered black. Okay. And then they run into a guy like me, a mulatto guy. You go to Africa and they're calling me white. It's like it debunks everything the Afrocentrics claim, you know. But yeah, the information right here, they're talking the massacre of Jeremiah Vespers, August 5th, 1964. But they clearly lay out the distinction: exclusively white and mulatto groups, much to the dismay of the black population. So there's a difference. There's white, there's mulatto, and there's black. Don't let them fool you and trick you. And those of you guys who are subscribers, supporters, you follow me on my social media platforms, you understand this. There is a clear distinction between us and them, but you're going to have some of these people, a lot of biracial baby mamas, okay, and just other hood boogers who are raised in the community, right, or abandoned and grew up in orphanages, whatever. Like they're still going to try to pull you back in to blackness, to be black identified. Unfortunately, you're going to run into these people. But historically, we analyze this, it clearly lays out the distinction that we're a separate group from them. Because if mulattoes were just black, wouldn't they just call us black? Why did they lay out the distinction and say mulatto groups? It's interesting, isn't it, right? So let's get more into the massacre of Jeremiah Vespers. August 5th, 1964, 13 members of the group, Jean Hot Haiti, aka Max Armad, his brother Jacques Armad, Gerald Marie Bier, Miko Chandler, Luis Doron, Charles. Okay, all these names. I apologize. My pronunciation is horrible. Okay, I apologize. One black and 12 mulattoes. But that it's so interesting because, like I said, if mulattoes were considered black around the world, wouldn't they just say it's like 13 blacks? But they said one black and 12 mulattoes. That's quite interesting, guys. Would you not agree? Like, would you guys not agree? That's very interesting, right? Okay. They're clearly historically highlighting. I think it's Wikipedia. Yeah, Wikipedia. Okay. Which they heavily one drop. That's a big deficit of them. We're gonna challenge them. I know Emily kind of wants me to kind of be on the forefront of that. It's a tedious process. I think Celtic mulatto is more astute for that, but I know a lot of you mulattoes kind of, message me and want me to definitely challenge the whole Wikipedia thing. There's a lot of good information Wikipedia provides in this instance for this live stream, but then obviously, like I said, most of the time, Wikipedia, they still try to one drop mulattoes. And with all the AI and the technocracy, I call it, I coin the technocracy with the AI and all these other networks and platforms and apps where they still heavily one drop mulattoes into blackness. But it's on us to challenge that, the narrative. Those of us independent media. So it lays out the clear distinction here. One black and 12 mulattoes landed on Haitian territory near the town of Jérémie in the southeast of the country with the aim of triggering a revolt against the dictatorial power, following which Francis Duvalier, I think he was like as part of his Norris policy. Now, Francis Duvalier, he was a Haitian dictator. He's a black supremacist. And this right here, the Norris policy, that is the black supremacist policy which occurred in Haiti. Because Noir is black in French, right? So in Haiti, the Noir, there's a whole movement. We're going to get more into that on this channel because this is congruent and this falls into this mulatto history. How a lot of the Norris people, the Bantus in Haiti, are anti-mulatto and they're black supremacists. They've tried to attack and purge the mulattoes in Haiti, which they're going into the Dominican Republic now, trying to do that to them. That's a whole separate thing. We'll get into that as well. But that's what this Norris policy right here. This is this black supremacy, but this is in Haiti. Ordered reprisals against the mulatto families of the town. Interesting, because it's like you talk to some of these idiots, they tell you that, well, mulattoes are just considered black. Mulattoes are a part of the African American ethnic group. You mulattoes, you're just considered black. But we look at Haiti, it's like, well, wait a second. Why is it that the black supremacists are targeting mulattoes? I thought mulattoes were just black. What's the dealio? What's the dealio here? If we're just black, why is it that mulattoes, or why is it that the black supremacists are specifically laying out policies to attack mulattoes? So who's really speaking about this, right? Ordered reprisals against the mulatto families of the town. The hatred and resentment accumulated over the decades against the latter served as a pretext for the orders given by Williams Regella to the military agents and Tontons Macotes. I apologize, guys. You know, my pronunciation is French. 27 people from two families. Yeah. Yeah, very, very interesting. Let me get more into it, guys. This is going to be like a continuation. I'm going to do another stream. There's a gentleman. I actually want to bring him up. The man who shared this with me, this information. I want to bring him up and talk with him about this because he has a background, his articulation, he's familiar with this stuff, and he shared it with me. And he speaks a language. I think his lineage is a Haitian. He's a mulatto guy, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know this history. I had no idea this history occurred over on Haiti. And then people sit there like, and they lie to you and tell you that you're just going to be considered black around the planet. Have you looked into the massacre of Jeremiah Vespers, where the black supremacist party in Haiti, the Norist, where they specifically attacked and targeted mulattoes? Nobody wants to have that conversation. They don't highlight that. I have to do that here for you guys. I have to make you guys aware of what's going on. So right here, this is a result. 27 people from two families, Doran and San Sarquic, of members of Jean Haiti, were massacred in the town of Jorim. The 13 members of the Jean Haiti group were hunted down, deleted on the spot, are taken away and executed in public in front of the cemetery of Port-au-Prince. Now, this is the real kicker. I already highlighted it because I shared this in my Discord. I already highlighted it. Let me get this. Here we go. In August, September, and October, hundreds of mulatto women, old people, and children were tortured and deleted. This is Wikipedia. We know Wikipedia one drops. They provide a lot of interesting information. But this is historical fact. This is 1964. Look into the Jeremiah Vespers massacre that occurred in Haiti. Mulatto people were specifically targeted by black supremacists. Nobody wants to talk about this. It's very interesting. So, and I lay it back on that initial comment where that biracial baby mama was basically saying, oh, when the race war kicks off, the whites are going to attack you. It's going to be the blacks who got your back. And then, shout out to El Mulaton, because he was saying, well, shit, we're not even in a war right now. This is peace times. But like a lot of these racist black people are attacking us in the United States. What the hell? What gives, But imagine when there is an actual war, when there is a conflict. Look at the reference we have here. The massacre of Jeremiah Vespers. They already have a history. They did it in Haiti. They'll attack you. If they have power, they have numbers, they have influence, they'll look at you, they'll look at your village, they'll look at your town, your community, right? See, they don't want you to talk about this stuff. They want to cancel me. They want to harass and stalk and dox and false allegations for me. They don't want you guys to know this truth, this history. Nobody else out here on social media is talking about this. We have to have these difficult conversations. This is mulatto history. This is a part of history they don't want you guys to know about. They want you to think, well, everything's all, they want to paint it as if you guys are privileged. Oh, the white population gave mulattoes all this power, and the dark skinned people are disadvantaged because of colorism. And then they have academia and the LGBT people within academia who have like are in tune with dark skinned supremacists to basically use this colorism and intersectionality narrative to maneuver the mulatto men to be subordinates and the straight heterosexual mulatto women to be subordinates underneath dark skinned people and LGBT people. They don't want you guys to have your own voice. They want you to be a subordinate to serve other people. So they don't want to talk about this history. They're not going to talk about this. They're not going to talk about the massacre of Jeremiah Vespers. You guys, it's on you, your responsibility. I'm sharing it with you because you guys have to remind them of this. This is actual mulatto history where black supremacists in Haiti targeted and attacked mulattoes specifically because we are mulatto. And as you see highlighted right here, they attacked hundreds of mulatto women, old people, and children. They were tortured and deleted. Okay, this is not BS. This is not hyperbole. We're not making this up. This is documented facts. I didn't even know of this. A gentleman, a mulatto guy, had to share this with me because we're in the United States. We're very, I talked to some of my students as well about this, how it's like a lot of the news and information and history in the United States, we're very kind of closed off and isolated in our society where we're very centric and focused on our what's going on here in the United States. But there's a whole there's a whole big planet, and there's mulattoes around the world. And we don't know that some of these mulattoes, they're basically disenfranchised or they're targeted by their government or the majority population, like in this case in Haiti, majority black population. And when there was a Haitian dictator, the Norist party, they got into power and they found an opportunity to attack the mulattoes. We have to explore this history and talk about it because they are trying to implement this here in the United States. They're trying to repeat this. You have guys like the Tariq Nasheeds, the Dr. Umar Johnson, these radical black supremacists. They're anti-mulatto. They're trying to continue doing this stuff to us. If they can't absorb us and bastardize us and maneuver us in their group, they want to attack us. Look what they're doing with Tyla. Look what they're doing with Tyla. She's, like I said earlier, she's not mulatto specific, but she's South African colored. And they stay trying to humble and bastardize and erase mixed identities around the planet. And this is precisely what you see with Tyla. They hate Tyla because she's proud to be mixed, right? They want to erase her. This is the same violence you see from them. These FBAs and Afrocentrics and pro-blacks in the United States, it's the same violence. That's why they always virtue signal Haiti. They're always proud. Even Tariq Nasheed had a whole documentary called 1804. He was praising the Haitian Revolution, how they're so proud and brave and all this stuff. See, they praise that. They promote that. When the dark-skinned supremacists, when they attack mulattoes, they think it's a good thing. It's unfortunate you have a lot of mulattoes who are lost, who haven't figured this out. Nobody's telling you this history. No one's sharing this history with you guys. It's my job. And like I said, this is basically piggybacking off the comment from the biracial baby mama who's trying to paint it where the white man's so bad, he gonna attack you. It's like, well, he's attacking everyone. He's attacking his own people. You had this recent, Trump and Putin, meeting. The whole thing is because the whites in Russia are attacking the whites in Ukraine. So the whites are attacking their own people. Like they're attacking everybody. They're interested in power. Unlike Bantus who want acceptance. They don't want power. The whites, they want power. So they're attacking everyone, even their own damn people, right? So it's like this idea where you have this biracial baby mama who's trying to scare you. Well, the whites are going to attack you. So our best bet is to team up with she sounds like that one, Jabba the Hutt, kind of Ginger the Hutt, light-skinned savior. Like, if your birth certificate says you're black, then you're just black. Okay. Just sounds just like that. What are your guys' thoughts on all that? You guys got anything to add on that or what? I want to check out some of your guys' comments here. Shout out to Val as well. He puts white men will delete mulattoes. I'm 50-50, and I have more white friends who got my back more so than my black family and my dad's side who don't even give a ish my existence. You put in the event of a race war, in the event, yeah, suck off and serve black people so they can spit on you and use you for power. Yeah, it's very that whole race war stuff, it's a wet dream that they have to humble mulattoes. If you exclude white Europeans of any demographic picture, black, brown, Asian would still war with each other in land expansion, resource technology. You make a good point because even without the presence of Europeans, Bantus, they still go to war with each other. Even white, they talk about these whole dysphoria wars with Africans, and other like African groups and tribal groups. And like whites aren't even in the picture, but they still like battle each other, right? Yeah. So that you make a good point. Let's play into the delusion that there will be a race war. Black people would still use us as shields if we sided with them. Exactly. You're going to be the first one they're going to throw under the bus and delete. Let's be real. You're going to be the first one because remember, you're mulatto. You got to prove your blackness. You got to prove your loyalty. Oh, you're going to be the first one they throw out there on the front line. And you'll have a lot of dummy biracials who will sign up for it. They're going to be proud to prove their blackness. They'll be the first ones to get done in. It's going to be sad. For me, hilarious to watch, but for them, it's going to be very pitiful and sad. But you're right. In that event, they're going to be the first ones to get done in, unfortunately. But they sign up for it. They're black identified. A mulatto to a black, I don't know. No idea why any mulatto feels safe around Bantus. They must not have been around them often. Yeah, good point. A mulatto to a black Hebrew are considered abominations and Nephilim in regards to a race war. The black Hebrew would delete mulattoes. Oh, yeah, they're your biggest enemies. The black Hebrew Israelites are black extremists, pro dark skinned male. They only cry and complain about dark skinned women. You have to understand the black Hebrew Israelite phenomena, the philosophy, they're pro dark skinned male. They believe that any black male can have children with any race of people, and that child will be a part of that tribe. This is they spread their patriarchal, their lineage through that. That's why they only have smoke for black females, the black Hebrew Israelites. They're basically what they call like divestors, but the males, the male versions of divestors, but they still push this pro black stuff. That their whole philosophy is the whole seed of your father stuff. They'll never criticize and hold accountable other dark skinned black males. They'll always try to say, well, it's the black female. It's the black female's fault. Yeah, because that's what the philosophies they push. They push that where the black male can have children with any other group of women, and those children will be the same tribe as their father. Yeah, just no. No, I have no respect for the Hebrew Israelite people, the black Hebrew. No, they're in the wrong spot. The mulattoes, no, no. I see some of these mulattoes who are black Hebrew Israelite, whatever, but to me, they're just black. They're not. They're not mulatto. Okay. If they love to debate me, they know where to find me. I'd love to debate them. I'd love the opportunity. They don't want it. They don't want it because they already know that they're black. They're black identified. They identify as black. They're not the same as us mulattoes. Okay. I only feel safe around those who treat me the way I treat them. It's not about race to me. It's about the behavior of your heart. Yeah, it's a good point. I agree. The dreaded and weaponized N word doesn't offend me, not one, but it's used to dehumanize my father, African American. Interesting. Cool, guys. Yeah. What do I got here? I guess I can share some more Wikipedia links. Just bear with me, guys. I will, I think, share. I'm going to share some more links. Get into some more of it right here. All right, guys. So we have here. This is a guy we talked about earlier, the dictator, Norris Party, black nationalist, black supremacist, also known as Papa Doc. I guess that'll be easier for me to pronounce his name versus Francis de Villiers. Duvalier. right? So this is a guy right here, was a Haitian politician, okay, and he's a voodooist. I don't know. Is African, let's say African diasporic religion developed in Haiti. Yeah, okay. Hardcore black supremacist over in Haiti. Okay. This is a guy who was a dictator at that time who initiated those attacks, the anti-mulatto attacks. So check out a little bit about his bio. I think you guys can see the text clearly. I can zoom it in a little bit. I think that'll be better for you guys. Okay. He's a Haitian politician, and he was basically a voodoo practitioner who served as president of Haiti from 1957 until his death in 1971. He was elected president in the 1957 general election on a populist and black nationalist platform. Okay. They call it the first black republic. But who did they attack? They attack mulattoes. But they have a lot of the dumb, naive mulattoes in the United States and in Brazil and other places thinking that these are your people. But yet when they get to power, they attack you. Interesting how that works. You guys are still confused about this. Okay. So he was a populist, a black nationalist populist. Okay. Similar we see with guys like Donald Trump, who's basically white nationalist populist. Okay. After thwarting a military coup d'etat in 1958, his regime rapidly became an autocratic and despotic. An undercover government death squad, Tonton Makut Haitian Creole, is right here thought to be so persuasive Haitians highly fearful of expressing any form of dissent, even in private. Okay. Now, since I hear this guy right here, they call it what Papa Doc is the name. Further sought to solidify his rule by incorporating elements of Haitian mythology into a personality cult. Interesting. These guys like that. He has a cross here, the symbol he has here. So he was knighted by a priesthood, by the Vatican. You can see the symbology here. Is like it looks like the knights, the Maltese cross, if I'm not mistaken. So he was knighted by high powers within the Catholic Jesuit order. So something to consider, to understand, because this is very deep. We see what's going on in the United States. It's congruent. What's going on in the Caribbean, these other parts of the world where they attack mulattoes, destroy your identity, frame you as a spy. They frame you as basically a saboteur, right? They deny your personhood. This is very congruent because you have these nationalists, they're black nationalists, white nationalists, they all work together to maneuver mulattoes to be a subordinate class indefinitely. They can't stop the fact that we are reproducing at a rapid rate. Our numbers are growing. They still want to maintain the social order to maneuver you to be a subordinate indefinitely. And of course, those of you over here who found my channel, my platform, you know, it's not, this is not how it's going to go down. We're not interested in that. We're not interested in serving anybody else. We are exercising our own autonomy. We're exploring the history, and we're not going anywhere. I mean, the whole position here is to share the information, the history, so other people are empowered and they are informed, understand the reality of the situation. And don't let these suckers try to scare you and trick you. Oh, when the race war happens, shit, the blacks, they got your back. They's your people. And then we look at here and look at the history. It's so hilarious. It's like we're not even in like a war or anything, and they're still massacring you, attacking you in Haiti. It's like it's right in front of your face, this history here. But nobody talks about the history. I wonder why. They don't want you guys to wake up and smell the coffee, to realize what's really going on. Okay. All right. So let's get into this. Okay. I'm going to skip through some of this stuff. I'll share the links, of course, with you guys so you guys have access to this. No problemo. Put here, you guys can see that. It says the racism and violence that occurred during the United States occupation of Haiti, which began in 1915, inspired Black nationalism among Haitians and left a powerful impression on the young Duvalier. This is Papa Doc, the image. This is his whole profile here. He was also aware of the latent political power of the poor Black majority and their resentment against the small mulatto elite, highlighted right here, right in front of your eyes. For all you idiots, you crooked toothed incels who want to sit around here and say that mulattoes are part of the African American ethnic group, they're literally laying out the distinction right here. The small mulatto elite, that there was a resentment from the Black majority. Well, I thought we're the same ethnic group. I thought we're the same. Why is there resentment? What is that? Mulattoes are just existing. Mulattoes are just existing. And guess what happens? They have the massacre that occurred down there in Haiti. And you guys don't want to talk about this. Of course not. Because you're trying to prove your Blackness, that you're down with the hood. Right here, they tell you they had resentment towards the mulatto people. But I thought mulattoes were Black. I thought mulattoes were just part of the African American ethnic group. I thought we're part of the same group. Why is there resentment towards us? What's the deal? Is it because we're raised in the suburbs by white moms? That's what they're going to claim. The hood boogers, the incels, they're going to say, well, you're raised in the white suburbs, by a white mom, right? I thought, well, what the hell? What gives? Well, why is there resentment? I thought we're all the same people. I thought we're part of the same ethnic group. Why are they targeting mulattoes down here in Haiti? Interesting. Nobody wants to talk about that history. And it's laid out right in front of your face, the distinction. Mulatto is not the same as Black. This is Haitian history here. And even the Anglophiles, okay, and all the Black nationalists, the white nationalists in the United States, they don't want you guys to talk about this and discover this stuff because they want to play on that con game, this binary con game that, well, you mulattoes don't have a choice. You can't just be mulatto. You got to either side with the Blacks or the whites because there's going to be a war that happens. You got to pick a team, pick a side. They do that to hoodwink you. So you never identify with who you are. You don't have personhood. This is the game they play with you. Right? Okay, Duvalier supported Pan-African ideals. Is a Black nationalist, pro-Black, was typical, and became involved in the Negritude movement of Haitian author Jean Price Mars, both of which led to his advocacy of Haitian voodoo. They're proud Haitian. There you go. They incorporated the voodoo as their religion, and they use that on mulattoes. An ethnological study of which the latter paid enormous political dividends for him. In 1938, Duvalier co-founded the journal Les Griots on December 27, 1939. Yeah. Again, I apologize for my pronunciation. I want to highlight the specificity how mulattoes are distinctively delineated from them, the Black nationalists, Afrocentrics, Pan-Africans. We're not the same. You got idiots and scammers like Dr. Umar trying to call you a mixed race African. You see the scam because they want your money. They want to scam you and bastardize mulattoes, right? They want to scam you people. But this is the thing, historically, when you analyze this stuff, there's always been a clear distinction between mulattoes and Black. America doesn't represent the world. It's the superpower. I'm an American. For sure. Our influence is around the world. I was in Africa, in Europe, in South America, Caribbean, Central America. Yeah, our influence is heavy around the world. And just not even militarily, but culturally and economically, our influence is there, but it doesn't represent the whole world. So the political, social structures and systems in the United States, it doesn't always basically resonate with the rest of the world. It's something important to understand. So we need some of these dummy Americans who try to tell you, well, that's the way it is here. Whatever your birth certificate says, like one of these light-skinned Blacks who tell you, if your birth certificate says You black, well, then you just a light-skinned Negro. I know you mulatto. I know you got a white mom, but I'm a Hebrew Israelite, the CDO father. You just gonna be a light-skinned Negro. Nah. Not the same as you people, homie. Okay. I'm gonna let you know. When we look at the historical documents right here laid out in front of us, we're not the same. Okay. The two front runners in the 1957 campaign for the presidency were De Villiers and Louis de Joly, a mulatto landowner and industrialist from the north. This gentleman here, right? Pierre Joseph Louis de Joly, if I'm pronouncing that, I apologize, was a wealthy Haitian sugar planter, industrialist, agricultural engineer, landowner, politician. This is a mulatto history. This is a mulatto man from Haiti. They want to cover this up and say he's just black. But yet when the blacks get into political power, they're going to run against him on a pro-black, black supremacist, pro-voodoo agenda against this mulatto man. Where the hell are the mulattoes recognizing this and calling this out and identifying this? They're silent. They're silent as church mice. None of them are out here, so I got to be the bad guy. You have no mulattoes out here who talk about this. If the mulattoes are just considered black, why is it that in places like Haiti, when the black supremacists get into power, they run against you for political influence? Interesting. Nobody talks about this. Okay. Okay. During their campaigning, Haiti was ruled by 5 temporary administrations. None, and this isn't that long ago, guys. I want to point this out too. 1957. This was basically the 60s, early 60s, when the civil rights era was happening here in the United States, which wasn't that long ago, guys. 60 years ago. My parents were born during that time. This was happening in the Caribbean and Haiti. Wasn't that long ago. This is very critically important to understand. Haiti was ruled by 5 temporary administrations, and none lasting longer than a few months. De Villiers promised to rebuild and renew the country. Yeah, is populist, typical populist rhetoric and agenda, like Donald Trump with his Anglo-populist rhetoric. We gonna rebuild. We gonna rebuild. Make it great again. We gonna make it great again for the Anglos who all work with the Hispanics. We gonna deport them, but we need them Mexican because they help us out. We need them buffer classes because we gotta prove we better than blacks. We gonna rebuild. Yeah, that's all the whole Trump shit. All the Trump people, right? They need their little buffer classes, right? You know, that's the populist crap. It's hilarious. It's the same rhetoric. If it's a black supremacist or the white supremacist, it's all the same populist bullshit. All the same rhetoric. And rural Haiti solidly supported him, as did the military. He resorted to Noriste. Pronunciation is not the best, but it's basically black supremacy populism. The Noir, remember, Noir is black in French. So Noriste, it's like black populism, basically. Stoking the majority Afro-Haitians. Yeah, it's black supremacy. Yeah. So right here, Afro-Haitians or black Haitians are Haitians of the African diaspora. They form the largest racial group in Haiti and together make up the largest subgroup of Afro-Caribbean people. Yeah, it's basically black supremacy. They've weaponized in Haiti, majority black country. They've basically propelled this black supremacy rhetoric over there. Okay, and it says irritation at being governed by the few mulatto elite, which has now been described his opponents. There you go, right there. They weren't attacking the white elite, okay, mulatto elite. So when you have these crooked tooth broke incels who want to tell you that mulattoes are just the same as African Americans, point them to this history. How is that? Haiti's in the Americas. Don't you people, you want to claim Haitians as Latinos? All you pro-blacks and black identified, you want to say Haitians, they speak French, but they're Latinos because there's Latin America. They're Latinos, they're Haitian, even though they're dark-skinned Bantus. Like you have these people, see, they always want to pick the rules that benefit them in their arguments. They're never consistent with it. But we see right here they lay out mulatto elite. Well, wait a second. I thought mulattoes were just considered black around the world. You have these black female divestors and black male Hebrew Israelite divestors who have kids with non-black people, and they're like, I'm gonna raise my kid to be proud to be black because the world finna see them as a black. And we're like, well, wait a second. Historically, we look at the evidence, it's like, well, no, they're mulatto. They're mixed race. They're not the same as you guys. Okay. You have to point out to the history. This is critically important. Okay. Do I need to dwell on this more? I'm going to share all these sources, but there's a gentleman actually in the future I want to bring up here, and he's going to articulate a lot of this stuff way better than me. I'm kind of more, you know, unruly with my articulation. Check this out. In the earlier years of his rule, de Valier was able to take advantage of the strategic weakness of his powerful opponents, mostly from the mulatto elite. It's funny because I started that whole hashtag. I thus kind of discontinued because some little irrelevant, Canadian troll tried to, basically co-opt that. Everything I do, co-opt it from me. But I mean, initially, I was like laying a distinction. There's those of us over here who are conscious, we're mulatto, we're the elite, So I hashtag that. But you have here historically, even in Haiti, not that long ago, guys, 60 years ago, 60, 70, 50 years ago, you had a legitimate mulatto elite who governed that society above the darker skinned Bantu. Okay. And you've had mulatto elite in North America and United States as well, obviously. Adam Clayton Powell, Thurgood Marshall, Dr. Claude Anderson, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois. They all fall within the mulatto elite. It was more nuanced at that time in the United States. It was more pronounced in the Caribbean. It's important to understand. But they're trying to destroy that delineation. They don't want you to have this identity. They want to destroy it because they want to use you. They're using this psychosocial type of, maneuvering today to destroy your identity, to have you serve a dark skin pro-black agenda, which is anti-mulatto. You have it clearly here, mulatto elite. Clearly right in front of your eyes, mulatto elite. Because you'll have PhDs, you'll have these academics, you'll have these people who will tell you, well, mulatto's not even a real thing. It's not even a race. You're not a real people. But clearly, when you analyze the history, it's right in front of your face. There is a mulatto elite class. You have mulattoes around the planet in Latin America, the Caribbean, and North America, United States. Clearly, we have mulattoes who are making a difference in society. But you still will have people who try to argue your existence and try to blackwash you and erase you out of it's very crazy, the erasure that occurs right in front of your eyes. But we look at the historical context, the information, it's right there. How can you deny this? Yeah, the mulatto elite in Haiti, the black supremacists found an opportunity to racially attack the mulattoes, and they seized the opportunity. Then again, going back to the first comment, they're talking about this whole race war stuff. Well, even when it's like when we're in peace times, they attack you. But when it's not peace times, when it's war times, imagine what they're going to do to you. Look at Haiti, for example, what they did to you there. They had massacres there, and you expect that not to continue? That wasn't that long ago. That was in the late 50s, early 60s. Okay. So I just have to let that be known because it's just all right here, right in front of your face. Like I said, shout out to the gentleman who pointed this out because I was not even made aware about this. I'm going to go and do more research into this and do a part two. I want to bring that gentleman up and talk more about this because this is part of our history. And they have Cuba here, all the mulattoes in Cuba. This is on my list of destinations to visit. But I know there's some trouble right now with American tourists traveling to Cuba. They're making it difficult for us. But it's on my list of places to go to, Cuba, because I know there's so many mulattoes in Cuba. And like I said, Latin America, most mulattoes speak Spanish. You have Dominican Republic, of course. And yeah. So I think I have another link I can share here before I kind of I got to all your guys' comments. If you guys have anything else to add, please do. Like I said, I want to do like a part two to this because I want the gentleman who shared this with me to have a conversation with him because obviously he's more familiar with this. So it just makes sense to kind of have him explain to you guys from his, his perspective what really happened, what's going on. Jermaine Vespers is what I talked about, right? The term Jermaine Vespers refers to a massacre that took place in August, September, and October 1964. Guys, that's 61 years ago. That's not a long time ago. This was an attack from black supremacists who attacked mulattoes. They specifically targeted mulattoes in Haiti, in a town in Haiti. This wasn't that long ago. But you have these people, you have these biracial baby mamas with their black baby daddies and their bastard kids who will sit there and tell biracial men, well, when it comes down to it, the whites are evil. The whites are going to attack you. It's going to be the blacks who got your back. And it's hilarious because I just pointed out, like you have today, 2025, you have whites who are attacking whites all over the damn place. You look at it in Russia and Ukraine. It's like it's crazy. Like they're attacking their own. They're competing for power. They're attacking their own all over the damn place. But you'll have biracial baby mamas with their bastard kids by dark skinned black males. They'll sit there and tell you, well, it's only, the white men who are bad and racist and they're gonna attack you, but my dark skinned baby daddy, he's your best buddy. He's got your back. And when we look at Haiti, we're like, well, damn, interesting. Look at how they viciously attack the mulatto men, women, and children in Haiti. Interesting. Well, that was 100 years ago. No, it wasn't 100 years ago. That was 60 years ago. Not that long ago. 60 years ago, they specifically targeted mulatto women and children and old people. Okay. It took place around of 13 young Haitians calling themselves Jean Haiti, and August 6th, 1964. The victims were deleted one by the Haitian army until the last two survivors were captured alive, brought back to Port-au-Prince, and shot in public against a cemetery wall. It says right here, terminology, the massacre was called the Vespers because many of the families deleted by the regime are remembered as the families who took many aforementioned Vespers picnic excursions. Victims, several of the group from the town Germain during 2 months of the army of the resistance group fought in the hills. The regime ordered the arrest and deletion of Jean Haiti's family members. 27 people were deleted, ranging in age of 85 years old and 2-year-old. See, there was old people and children, babies. They were deleting 2-year-olds, war crimes against mulattoes. How many other mulatto content creators are going to talk about this? Where are the mulattoes that are going to talk about this history? Where? Having these difficult conversations. Oh, mulatto vanguard, you's a racist, you anti-black, you're pointing out the history. How dare you, mulatto vanguard? You're gonna upset me and my black baby daddy, mulatto vanguard, because you're pointing out the history. Interesting. Nobody talks about this. This was a specific attack on mulatto people, our elders, and our children. These are black supremacists, literally black supremacists who attacked mulatto people. And it's just hilarious. You go like the comment that I read initially, the first one, where the biracial baby mama is like, oh, well, when there's a race war that occurs, the whites, they gonna attack you. You best side with black people. They your buddy. And like they love Haiti as the first black republic. But you look at the history, like the black supremacists, they're attacking mulattoes left and right. Right here in August, September, and October, hundreds of mulatto women, old people, and children were tortured and deleted. Okay. This is the history they don't want you mulattoes to know about. So you could talk about Frederick Douglass and you can talk about Steph Curry and you can talk about all these mulatto inventors and all these special mulatto people, and that's perfectly fine. But once you get into this, they start to get a little uppity. They get upset. They don't want you to know the real history, that a lot of mulatto people were subjugated and targeted under black supremacist rule, specifically over there in the Caribbean island in Haiti. This is really why they're against Dominican Republic, because Dominican Republic is basically a sanctuary, a safe haven for mulattoes. It was coined as the Mulatto Republic by German sailors and merchants centuries ago. There's actually a book written by a Dominican woman called the Mulatto Republic. It goes over race relations, mulatto identity based in Dominican Republic. You have towns. I'm going to talk about it soon. In even Sosua in northern Dominican Republic, you have towns, you have neighborhoods, not a town. In Sosua, which is a beach town in Puerto Plata, there's neighborhoods called Mulata. So the identity, the mulatto identity is strong in the Dominican Republic. You have a strong mulatto consciousness, mulatto identity. That is a real thing. And they share an island with Haiti. And a lot of the mulattoes in Haiti, even during the revolution, they fled and left and went to New Orleans. We know about that. We're going to get more into that history as well, of the mulattoes who were basically exiled from Haiti and fled and left Haiti and went to DR, but also went to New Orleans, Louisiana, because of the black supremacist rule. So it's just in the United States, it's very interesting when like my detractors, people who don't like my quote unquote rhetoric or my delivery, and they never bring anything to the table that's substantial for me to even like chew on and digest and kind of counter argue. They just bring the same gaslighting tactics and they have nothing to offer. Mulattoes are here, we're growing, and we're not going anywhere. It's someone like me, it's my job to present the history, share the history, and let mulatto people know that you do have a destiny. You have a purpose here. Embrace it. All right, guys, that's what I got to share for you guys right now. I'm going to do a part 2 on this. Hopefully, I'll have a guest. We can share some more information and we'll keep the conversation going. Guys, do me a big favor, hit the like button. If you guys like the content, share the stream. If you know someone will find value to it. There's nobody else out here in the blogosphere, the internet, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. It doesn't matter. Nobody else out here is talking about this. They're not sharing you this history, this mulatto history that's pertinent to us. Use this, keep this. This is yours. Own this. This is our history. Okay, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out.